Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tales of Terramir. We are here to play through episode 32 of our campaign. We have tons of exciting stuff to announce before we get in to the session. First of all, this month is September and our affiliate anniversary on Twitch, hence the silly party hats some of us are wearing. So it's a big deal. But that means our community subscriptions are 25% off 1 month subs, 25% off 3 month subs, and 30% off 6 month subs. Starting on September 26th, gift subs are 25% off until October 1st. And it's the perfect time to hop to our Twitch community so you can receive exclusive emotes, ad-free viewing, access to our members-only Discord channel, and much more. Don't forget, you can always subscribe for free with an Amazon Prime account. And thank you to all our subscribers who keep the show running. Also, we now have free. We now have free custom emotes just for our followers, which we're unveiling for the first time tonight. So check them out, type them up in chat, and yeah, Mike. That's something to say.
Yeah, a big thank you to those of you who enjoy the show through YouTube and any of the major podcast platforms. Please give this episode a like and maybe leave a review and subscribe to the channel. A little bit of love would go a really long way to help us out. And don't forget, you can visit talesofterramir.com to find links to all of the episodes and our social media. We're sharing clips and videos every week on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Facebook.
Yeah, and that's gonna do it for the announcements. Let's get back into our adventures in Tales of Terramir. My circulation was being cut off from the hat, so I had to take it. But we did the thing. All right, we're gonna go over a recap for our previous session. Got to get a sip in there, you know. So, our adventurers entered the cave beneath Magalore River waterfalls and found themselves face to face with Nalita sisters, a trio of corrupted river sirens that drew them deeper into the deeper waters. Fighting to maintain control of their own bodies, they felt the need to strike back from their own survival, for their own survival, bouncing between being charmed by the sirens' magic and using attacks against them. At one point, Savamil cast Water Walk, allowing the party an advantage in combat. Gemma unleashed a powerful lightning bolt, sending it through the chest of one sister to another, frying her into a blackened husk in the process. After Willa dealt the final blow to the remaining siren, they healed up and moved deeper into the cave. Thanks to the still active Water Walk spell, they were able to maneuver over a waterfall that flowed from a higher chamber. Inside, they found Wirenthar's lair and the druid himself, a muscular, bearded elf with a monstrously large green snake, a protector that flicked its tongue in anticipation. Through conversation, Wirenthar shockingly claimed to recognize Willa, having found her as an abandoned baby dragonborn in New Domar. Though he was a part of the Draconic Order of the Lycan, the group that raised Willa and trained her in her blood magic, he explained that the order split in two at that time. And one side wishing to protect civilization from nature's beasts, and one side wishing to protect nature from civilization's destruction. He was part of the latter, and Willa was raised in the former. As a part of the split in the order, Wiranthar claimed that despite having shown the Dragonborn to them in an attempt to raise her up himself, the Kettle Whistles stole Willa from him and disappeared without a trace. The druid and his small group of followers continued on their own path within Rorcia Forest, which slowly dwindled until only he remained. Wiranthar also revealed that he was behind the destruction of Yalquinel, and he now had his eyes set on Varndrel. He expressed anger toward the city's descent into imperialism and its human-like civilization, while their elven ways and culture disappeared, causing Varndrel to become unbalanced with its surroundings. Though Willa found the elf's claims to be unbelievable in regards to her past, she also told Wiranthar the error of his ways, calling him a very lonely man. She persuaded Wiranthar to reach an agreement. He would pause his attacks on Varndrel for 3 days if Willa spoke to the Silver Circle, the council that governed the city, and convinced them to restore its elven culture and balance with the forest. If the Silver Circle agreed to his terms, he would leave Varndrel alone for good. With this understanding, the adventurers left the cave and met back with Nalita. Raz'sik lied about their involvement with the sisters, but Gemma interrupted and informed her of the truth. Her sisters were killed by their hand, but they had no choice. The river nymph found happiness that they no longer suffered under Wiranthar's influence, and she gifted them a potion of mind reading. The adventurers returned to the hotel in Varndrel and slept through the night. Willa experienced strange, uneasy dreams, experiencing the world through the eyes of a dragon. Raz'sik was visited by the mysterious dark-haired elven woman he'd seen around the hotel as he drifted into sleep. She whispered temptations and dark thoughts into his ear, and he embraced them completely. In the morning, after breakfast, they decided to pool their coins to purchase diamonds for Savamil, in case he ever needed to cast Revivify on any of them. They walked to Rorcian Room Jewelers down the street and met its eclectic, gaudy, gnomish proprietor named Harlan. After purchasing the diamonds they needed, he showed them his private stock, a collection of illegal magic items. Though they were too expensive for the lot, Raz'sik asked the jeweler if there was a task that could be completed in exchange for the ring of protection that he had. It seemed, indeed, he had just the thing. All right. That concludes our recap. Yes. So, let's move to the city map just to get a visual on that. And you are where we left off immediately. You had just asked Raz'sik, and by the way, Gemma and Savamil are outside of this room. But Raz'sik, you asked, because these items are so expensive, what could be done? Was there a task that could be done for him as payment, perhaps for this ring of protection? And he responded, yes, there was something that he had for you. He had just a thing. You look at the gnome, getting in a look of him once again. He's got these gaudy clothing, silk clothes, like a noble, rings on every finger, this large sort of maroon beret over his head, with this neatly trimmed goatee, and he looks at you with a smile, Raz'sik. I actually have a client very interested in an item called it's called the Ebon Jewel. However, the Ebon Jewel. However, it lies somewhere within the mansion of a wealthy noble, in the Tanithil ward, if you will, and it will need to be extracted quietly.
Do you mind if we do a little team huddle we make decisions together. It's kind of
Oh, of course.
a
I
communal
understand.
thing. Everyone's got to be in 100%.
Please, yes, speak amongst yourselves and come back to me.
Guys, huddle. Team huddle.
Just the three of us. Okay.
Maybe we should just cut out the middleman and steal from this guy. Because I mean, like, morally, he's asking us to steal, so what comes around goes around.
I'm not one to steal. I don't think
I knew you were going to give me that look, Gemma.
I'm not there. That's Mike the player.
No, I thought you were there. I thought all of us were there.
He
No.
literally just said we
We're
were
doing a
outside.
team huddle.
You can go out and meet with.
Yeah, no, that's what I was
Emma and
implying. Is
Tanya.
like, we're going to go all meet out together.
All right.
So now
No,
everyone's
don't do that.
Anton's going to consider it for a fleeting moment.
I'm going to just say no, also. But I know some of you are taking quite a few
So-
blows.
I really think we need to get to that temple and check in on Morthil.
Martha.
See how he's doing, what he's up to. We know it's no good. Maybe we could come back to this later, but we've already been derailed. That's my take anyway.
Yeah. Definitely a later, if we have time before we leave the city, type of task. What was the mansion called?
He didn't tell you the name. He won't. He'll give you more details if you accept the job.
Do we tell him that if we're in the area, maybe maybe we can swing on by, maybe not, or do we just leave now? We'll just come back later.
Well, most peddlers don't like it when you leave, so we could use that as leverage to get more payment, even though we know we're coming back. Tell him maybe we'll come back and see if he ups the payment.
Well, I don't think he told us what he was gonna pay us, did he?
Well, the
Yeah.
idea was he was going to give you the ring of protection as the exchange for doing that.
Yeah, so he can't really
Throw a
do
little
like
extra.
half.
Extra in there.
Okay.
Maybe an extra diamond.
All right. Well, I'll go give him a soft maybe.
What does everyone else think? We're supposed to make this decision as a group.
Oh, I'm not doing this. I don't steal unless this was his jewel that got stolen, and so we're stealing it to give it back to him. But I don't think that's the case.
I don't think so either. We're supposed to be laying low down here, and I don't know. It might not be a good idea to tangle with something like this. I mean, we've already gotten into enough trouble just in our first day, but I don't know. That's just a huge risk for something that I don't know that I would be able to accomplish either. Plus, to Willa's point too, I mean, do we really
It
want
could be
to
something that Raz'sik just does himself. That's you're like good like that, aren't you? Like,
to be honest, I don't really need a ring of protection. I've got all the protection I need right here. And I'm kind of bicep.
What are you pointing at?
dancing. I'm making my biceps dance a little bit, but it's not like quite perceptible. But it's like, no, if you like lean in, there's some close creasing happening here. Trust me. All right, I'll tell him no. I'll be right back.
all right, you go back into the back room where he's at, and you come in. He goes, hey, close the curtain real quick. It's just the two of you. He turns around and he slowly turns back towards you, Raz'sik, and you see his face is completely changed. It looks the same, but it's relaxed and there's no expression whatsoever in his face. And this neutral, emotionless voice speaks into your mind.
Man.
Raz'sik Hickory, agent of the Tech Power. The voice of the Ruby Dragon orders you to procure the Ebon Jewel for Pangenon. Deliver it to the shopkeeper at the Enchanted Embers Bazaar. Code word, Juniper. And then there's a beat where he starts blinking. Hey, what's going on? I just blanked out for a second there. Oh,
It's all right. We were just. Are you okay? You kind of zoned out. That we were just finishing business. You were telling me which mansion you needed. You needed ransacking.
Yeah. Did you?
I'm sorry. You needed us to procure.
You accept? You accept the job?
Well, provisionally. Let's talk details. Just you and me.
Oh yeah.
It might be that some of my party members don't necessarily approve of the risk that I might be taking on.
I understand. Yeah. So, very important client of mine. If you go to the wealthy noble in the Tanithil ward, belongs to Nestorin Olaro. Now he owns the Starfall Lounge, so I recommend that you maybe talk to my contact at the lounge first to get some more details. He'll know a little bit more about what needs to be done.
Okay, so that was sorry. I was trying to get out my pen, IRL or my notes.
Yeah.
taken.
So the mansion belongs to Nestorin Olaro, who owns the Starfall Lounge, and his contact there. He didn't tell you who it was, but he said it's the gold dragonborn behind the bar. That's who you'll want to talk to.
That's in the Starfell Lounge that the contact is in.
Yeah, he works there. He works at the bar. His name is Maltath Dracul.
Cool name, not important. Let's go. All right.
I'll post these two in our Roll20 chat. Just the names, so you can see them. Maltath Dracul, Nestorin Olaro. Are the names. He goes, by the way, I remember my name is Harlan. So come back when you feel like you got something. Remember, very important. Make sure you get that. And then I'll give you the Ring of Protection in exchange.
Yeah, one of my companions wanted to ask you if I think it's a pretty good deal as it is. Just I understand the value of a Ring of Protection, but some of my teammates maybe feel that it's not quite enough for the group. Do you think you could throw in a little bit more of a financial incentive, maybe a bonus for now, maybe?
Well, you said that they didn't want to be involved, right? So just be you.
Yeah, but they might be involved without knowing it. It's hard to when you're running your own business. Like sometimes the wires get crossed, especially when you're working in a close a union of independent contractors like ourselves. Listen, we want more gold.
Roll persuasion. Roll persuasion.
Right, 17.
17. Goes. All right, you got me. It's actually, it's probably worth more than just the Ring of Protection. I'll throw in 2 more diamonds. How about that?
Done and done. All right. We'll do our best. See you later, Harlan.
All right. Good luck.
All right. Ebon Jewel coming right up. And I just kind of back my way out until the little the doorbell dings.
All right. All right. So Raz'sik comes back out to the rest of the group from behind the back room. And how are you looking, Raz'sik, after you just experienced all that?
Whew. That was weird. Tried to let him down easy, but he just came right back at me.
Oh no, he didn't take it well.
No, it didn't take it well at all.
Oh, that's a shame.
But it's fine. We can move on. It's best not to dwell on it. We're only going to be here for a few more nights anyway, so.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Wait,
All
so
right.
did you? So you told them, right? So you were not doing it.
Yeah.
Wow, insight, please.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Well,
What did you mean by
honest,
that? By the long pause and then, yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to do it, but
Do I even need to roll for that?
Listen.
Well, let's say your characters. Let's roll for your characters. So,
I
we
wasn't
know
gonna
what.
lie, really. I was gonna let it kind of play out for a second and then tell you guys. But my plan is to. I did take on the risk. I understand if you guys don't want to be involved. I can find a different lodging for the evening, so I don't bring any heat back to us unintentionally. But I think that there are certain things that were said inside of that business that made me change my mind.
Like
Certain
what?
things.
Yeah, like what? You just told us that you didn't even need it.
Like, do you guys remember outside of the trial? Gosh, what was the?
It was outside Oaktown.
Outside of Oaktown. When that man that we were chasing, just before he kind of died, had like the death rattle of like talking to us specifically about Pangean things.
No, we brought him in to the authorities, remember? In Dogtown.
Right.
You're talking about the guy that spoke in your mind?
We've had two people do that so far, right?
Is that right?
We had one person who we were like chasing through the forest, right? Did we end up bringing him back?
So, if you recall, there was the bandit who tried to steal from you.
Mm-hmm.
That as you were after you defeated him, and you were
That's the guy.
pretty much. Yep. He spoke into your mind with the same sort of expression.
Mm-hmm.
No one else heard it. You told them later, and now it's happened again. It seems.
Yeah, same sort of pattern as what happened with that bandit that we caught. Same thing. And last time it brought us into an encounter with a very powerful magical artifact that I feel a deep sense of duty in my heart about doing. And I promise it won't affect the rest of the team. I will do my best to compartmentalize as I do. But I think that we should move towards finding the priest. I'm not dwelling on this for now. Maybe we can reconvene at night after we do what we need to do.
Anton leans over to Gemma. What does compartmentalize mean?
He doesn't want to. He's trying to separate it from what we're trying to do now. And honestly, I don't know what he's talking about. So,
how can you be sure that you'll successfully compartmentalize?
There you go. You got it.
Good job,
What
buddy.
you're doing?
You're learning more every day.
Patronize me, smiling man.
Kill him.
We can just try our best, friend. But to be honest with you, I have so few links left to my people that when they send me a lifeline like this, I feel I must answer.
You got a mission from your people. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying, and that's
Okay.
exactly what
It was
happened
just,
last time with the bandit as
yeah.
well. And you'll remember that led us to the
Dragon
dragon
orb, which we
orb.
gave up,
Mhm.
Well, Raz'sik, I hope you feel safe telling us this kind of stuff, because at first you did lie about it to us.
Well, I'm working on trust. It's you guys are the only people that I really like remember a lot of like experiences of, and so I feel really attached to you. I don't remember a lot from my life throughout my history. It's all been kind of picked clean of sentimentality to make me a more effective weapon, and so I need you guys to trust me, and I am not good at lying for whatever reason. They must have pruned my ability to lie. I don't know.
Then stop trying to do it. Just tell us.
That's what I did.
And we
Eventually.
appreciate it. Thank you for telling us the truth.
Thank you.
And you're talking about this compartmentalizing the whatever that word you
Very
said
good.
was.
We're getting there.
But that the last time we did this, it was something that I might be interested in it. Last time I touched that, and you remember it did the whole glowing thingy.
Mhm.
So if it does that again, I don't know. Maybe it's important. So if you don't mind, I'd like to tag along, or at least see the jewel that you get.
No, I think your heritage and the story of my people is very closely intertwined. Inseparably so, perhaps.
Right. Do we think that it might be one of those jewels I learned about?
I mean, the Ebon Jewel, does that... Do you guys recall any? Does anyone have any historical knowledge?
Historical?
Historiological knowledge about... what would that be? Gemology? Well, that would just be geology, right?
Geology.
That probably encompasses other...
This is going great.
geodes.
Metamorphic, igneous.
Can we just put a pin in this, like he said, and go check out what's going on with that priest? Get our shit together first, and then...
Yeah, is there a rush to do it now, as opposed to after we spy on the priest?
Not at all.
It's not. We can
It's not at all that I was told.
Leave it in our quest log for a while. Come back to it.
Oh, and I don't think
then-
that Harlan remembers that he that my people communicated that through him. So
wait,
Well, good.
Raz'sik, does he think that you're going to bring it to him and you're going to bring it to someone else?
That's maybe a little bit of a tricky part. We'll see. I think that we should see. My current mission is to see what the hell this thing is, and then I think we'll have a better idea of why the Pangeanans want it.
So you're gonna get it,
Okay.
but bring it to him or the Pangeanans?
Well, honestly, we're pretty reliable. Who's to say? I have a deep impulse within myself to find and collect various magical implements for my people, but who's to say that we aren't of my people?
You seemed pretty scared last time when we were trying to keep the dragon orb. You didn't
Yeah.
You didn't like the idea of Pangeanan assassins coming after us.
And I still
magical
don't. I'm not a
artifacts.
fan of being assassinated. But we're pretty far afield now. Who's to say? I think my people's eyes and ears are everywhere. The knives are always lurking, especially when you think that they're not. But I think that there's no way to know until we find out what the thing is. I think that we have to make the moral judgment ourselves of whether or not the thing in question is beneficial for us to keep or not. If it might hurt people, if it stays here. And I don't have a contact here. I wouldn't have someone to hand it off to necessarily, unless an agent were to, or a handler were to reach out or to emerge from the woodwork.
were you supposed to bring it somewhere, or were you supposed to give it to
Not that I'm
them?
aware of. Not that I was told. So
No, the thing told you to bring it to the person, the shopkeeper at Enchanted Embers Bazaar, in the Reuven ward.
the possessed Harlan. No, sorry, dude. It's a
Yeah.
lot of
No, totally.
It's okay.
Just like you're
There are a
There's
lot
like
of
5
names.
different
Totally
beings.
like
So
words.
it's like telling me to go different places.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Sorry.
So I posted that in Roll20 what the message was.
Perfect.
So Harlan, because he was like sort of his mind was taken over, doesn't have any memory of this. Thinks that you accepted the job and that you're going to bring it back to him. But you've accepted the job knowing that you received this message through his mind that says for Pangina, and you need to deliver it to the shopkeeper at the Enchanted Embers Bazaar. Code word Juniper.
Okay.
Reuven Ward is where the soldiers hang out, right? Or that's the area where they're mostly.
It's
hanging
the
out.
main part of their hangout. It's it's where the military camp is located, and
Great.
a lot of the guards are located there, and guilds and other things. More industrial.
That's fun. Yay.
Okay. So I convey that. Wait, sorry. I was just so shocked when the guy started speaking into my brain. Some guy at the Enchanted Embers Bazaar.
the guy.
He's a shopkeeper. I don't know.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I don't know. But I mean, I could maybe poke my head in there at some point and see if that guy's on the level. Some night that we're here, we've still got the room. I think for another 2 or 3 nights. I believe we got
2
4
more
or 5.
nights.
Okay,
2 more nights.
so we've got the room for another couple nights. So we've got time for nighttime activities if you want to run by and check the guy out. But later. Don't let my backstory distract us from the mission.
Well, okay. Well, I guess if we want to put that on the back burner, what does everyone else think? Should we go to? We're gonna spy on this priest during the daytime.
I think
Are we
we're gonna
going
do it during
to-
daytime. Yeah. No. I'm
I
sorry.
think
Are we
We
going
found out
to?
that his stuff was kind of in the evening, right? He kind of has like a 6 p.m. ritual that he's doing.
We should maybe try to talk to the Silver Circle to see if we can convince them of what we were supposed to.
Why? Right, for Werenthar?
Yeah, it's the morning. I think their office hours are now.
Yeah, we can
We
stop
have to-
by, see if we need to make an appointment or something like that.
Oh, probably. Yeah. Let's head on over there. And what time is it? It's like late morning.
Yeah, it's like late morning.
Okay. And that's on the island, right?
Yes, that's correct. You know that they'll be located at the Hall of Illumination, and on Barrow Island, which is the kind of the city hall as well as the Grand Library, Learning Center, and central hub for Varndra. Which is
Well,
not far
I
from where
respect
you're
your-
at.
I respect your loyalty, Raz, and in spite of my reservations, we'll support you. After our chores with the council and the wizard, of course.
And to be
Priest.
honest, that's probably one of the last things we want to do, just in case we piss off Marlin. Harlan.
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 Well, let's go.
All right, so let's go.
Let's get going.
Okay.
Begin heading out of the area of the jewelry shop, and again, kind of in this area, this sort of port hub area. You can see the distant ships in the distance, and you begin to cross the bridge over to Vero Island, where the most prominent structure before you is this large rising hall of sorts, green in color. There are these branches that sort of almost twist around it as if it's sort of built partially with the natural surroundings that have entangled itself, but still incredibly elegant looking at the same time. You approach and you enter into the Hall of Illumination, which opens up into this. These stairs kind of go down into this wide open, elegant hall. There's the shrine to Quathalia off to the side, as we'd mentioned previously, was going to be there, as well as the shrine to Sehenine, goddess of moonlight and peace, as well as staircases that go up to other floors.
You notice they have a statue of Sehenine. I remember hearing about this. If we invoke maybe Sehenine, maybe the council will be a little more susceptible to our calls for peace. Just a thought. Who's the most?
You guys did a really good job at getting those people to accept that you were religious last time around. So maybe I'll hang back, sort of observe. I didn't do a very good job.
I feel like
gave me one temporary hit point.
Well, Willa, what do you think about taking point? You were good with Wiranthar.
Yeah, I can try. I'll try it out. Are you thinking we just talk to them, or you wanted to pray to Sehenine first and then see if we can wiggle our way in?
Oh no, I meant just drop the name when speaking to the council. It might be important to them since it's here in the Great Hall.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can try. I'm not the best at with my words, and I feel like it's kind of lying, but yeah, I'll try it.
I can help you out too, Willow, if you'd like. I have a way, so
I think that's
don't worry,
a great idea.
We'll be with you.
Okay.
Two charming ladies.
Yeah, we can all go up together.
Raz.
And me.
Oh, of course. The guys.
Yeah. By the way, there is the shrine to Quathalia, so I do want to provide perhaps a little blessing to the team while we're here.
You can do that
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kidding, Savi. Come on, go for it.
You're always kidding me. Gemma.
Yeah, just kind of.
I think we could use the help, so come with me. You go over to it is just a small shrine, but it's you can see just the sort of the patterns and decoration that are reminiscent of the sea and water. There is this sort of fountain that flows out and around towards this small little shrine and altar. It looks like the shrine itself is opened up like a book, but like two separate waves that come outward. He puts his hands onto it. Goes, it's been a long time since I've seen an actual shrine to Quathalia. Watch over us. We could use your protection. Please, if there's anything you can give us, We would appreciate it. Oh, I felt that. Did you guys feel that?
I thought I heard a seagull.
It
That
felt
says, you know,
like
looking
a.
around is-
You all actually you didn't notice anything at first, but you kind of like think about it, and you can almost smell the scent of like the ocean on your nostrils,
The ocean.
and find that kind of odd. And he goes, "Okay, everyone, put your hands in. Put your hands in together."
like Mighty Duck style, or
Yes, Mighty Duck style.
He doesn't know what that is. Just do it.
I don't.
it's a great group of
Play
men
with these
that
Mighty
rose
Bird.
against all odds.
It's an ancient tale. I'll do another one.
Anton's
Everyone
hand is in.
gains.
Oh wow!
Playing along.
Jesus Christ! I mean, I'm saying.
Everyone gets 3 temporary hit points.
Yeah.
Right.
As well as inspiration for the day. You get 1 inspiration you can all use during
Like each
today.
or share? Do we share?
Each.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can't.
Quithalia is really showing up for us as like a deity.
Yeah, I might convert.
She's
I
pretty
know,
cool,
I know.
you
She's
guys.
making,
I'm in
you're
time.
making a great case.
You
I'm
might.
trying to tell you.
Nothing solid though. Just wait. Just give me your literature. I'll get back to you.
I'll read the pamphlet. Yeah.
You could get Paladin. That'd be cool, Anton. That'd be a cool little. That'd be a nice little
Oh.
character development for you.
That would be kind of cool. Were you gonna say something, Anton?
Can we go inspect the Hannah Nye statue?
Yes.
Anton trying to double up. I'm just kidding.
I'm just trying to think if there's anything there we can use to, I don't want to say manipulate, but manipulate the council.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't
You,
know any other synonyms for that word.
Synonyms. Anton, synonyms.
Synonyms. Got it.
that's what I said.
You
Manipulate.
you step over to the other side of the grand hall area, and on the other side, you see similar imagery and the same sort of same shapes, but instead of the waves and the water, you see these eclipses and circles reminiscent of the moon and stars. There's actually this light that you can't quite see the source of where it comes from, but it seems almost like moonlight that seems to be emanating around the altar as you approach.
So crazy. We got salt water over there, and I got moonlight over here.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, it is. Anton, did you want to pray at it, or
If no, but
Do you want to pray at it?
but
No, hard no.
but well, you know what? At first, I thought that was a ridiculous thing to say, but maybe if we did pay it some homage, then maybe it would be on our side, give us an advantage when we're trying to make peace talks. I don't know. Maybe I could throw a couple of coins in the fountain, into the water. Think that would help?
Take the lead, Anton. We'll be right behind you.
Yeah. Let me know if you need any help.
Anton
Here for
takes
you.
out 5 copper, tosses them into the fountain.
you see them plop into the water and slowly drift down amongst a smaller pile of other copper coins that have also been tossed into the pot.
Well, it certainly couldn't hurt. I've seen a lot of things since we started this quest, so
Savamo goes
not
up
as
to you
much
and
of a
goes,
non-believer as I was.
Anton, do a little bit more. Get down onto your knees and try and say something to the shrine to say hey night.
I've never prayed before. What kind of things do I say?
Don't you even have to think about it too much. It's not that complicated. Just lean down and close your eyes and try to speak to her.
I'll do one knee. I'll get down on one knee.
It's cooler that way. You'll look a lot cooler in doing it.
That's true. That's true.
That's what I was thinking.
It's very cool.
Watch out, don't accidentally become a cool
I'll
paladin.
shake a little hair into my eyes.
Oh, sick.
Um, Say nine, great god or goddess, however you present yourself. We wish to make peace and hope that you can help us. And you know what? Willing to sacrifice 2 more copper and 2 more coins.
They
I
plop
hope this
into the
pleases
water.
you, oh great peace deity. Look back. Does that sound good?
That was pretty
Did I
good.
pray?
Not
That was
bad.
good.
All right.
Not bad for your first prayer.
Roll a religion check.
Anton rolls an 11.
Throw in a gold and do it again.
Roll a d4.
Okay. That's a 4. A nat 4.
You gain 1 more temporary hit point with a total of 4 temporary hit points. You're kind of skeptical, but you feel like you might have felt something there. There might have been something. You felt almost you feel at peace, ironically. You feel content.
Yeah, that wasn't so bad, I guess. Might try that again sometime.
You did great.
You did it. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, Anton.
Could use some peace in my life.
That's true.
Someday.
We all could.
Probably not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon. Yeah.
We'll be fighting a demon later this evening, so strap in.
So that doesn't mean that you can't find your inner zen. Get you an incense, Anton.
And with that, you turn towards the staircase that ascends into the higher levels, and we'll go ahead and take our first break there, and we'll pick up in a few. See you in a bit. Stick around.
Hi.
Hey, welcome back to Tales of Terramir. We have just entered the Hall of Illumination, making our way up the stairs, and gonna go confront the Silver Circle to see what they have to say about the whole thing with Werenthar. You continue upstairs, finding several stories of libraries and rooms, various other centers, until you get to a portion that is, you can tell, leads up to the tower on the top of the structure, and where the Silver Circle meets. Before the stairs, however, are 2 Imperial guards that are blocking the stairway.
Hi there. Can we go up this way?
You get a closer look at them, and you can see one is a male elf, and the other is a female half-elf. The male elf kind of just looks towards Anton for a second. Anton? Is that you?
Anton. Sorry, I'm not sure who you're talking about.
You actually recognize him as someone that you knew when you were stationed here. His name's Folman, Folmon, and you recognize him as sort of an acquaintance that you had met with and seen before.
Yeah. Still don't trust him, though.
Of course.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anton, I know it's you. We had that drink that one time.
Anton looks at the female elf to see what her reaction is.
She's sort of like looking over at him incredulously, just trying to figure out what's going on here. She goes, "We can't let them pass." Folman goes,
Quick goofing off, Folman.
He kind of looks over at her and goes, he's Anton. He's with the Empire. We worked together at one time. Are you here on Imperial business? If so,
Don't blow my cover. I'm working undercover with these mercenaries here. You have to pretend you don't know me, but it is good to see you, Folman.
Right. Well, you can go up there, chap. Then, if you're on secret business and all, you can go up. See the silver circles up there right now.
And looks at the female elf. You're not going to say anything, right? I don't want this mission compromised.
Kind of looks at between the two of you. If he says you're with the Empire, that's fine. Just know you might not be most welcome unless they're expecting you. Steps aside.
Okay. I'll make sure I mention how good of a job you did to your commanding officer. And thank you. They're coming with me, by the way.
Right, yeah. Up you go.
Good to see you. Pats him on the shoulder.
As you're like going up the stairs, you can hear a little bit of a whisper between the two of them, and Folman is like, "That's Anton. He's like really cool. You don't understand." Just like grabs some steps, and then you just like it fades away.
I turn to Anton. I'm gonna say, "Is that gonna happen often here?"
I'm just glad he wasn't ever told that I'm wanted. It's good. That means we might not be sought after by every soldier in the Empire.
Depends.
Good to know, but still, we have to be on our guard.
Do you have the pencil mustache? Did we put a mustache on you?
No, it's
for disguise. No, we didn't do it. Damn it.
Yeah.
No wonder he could recognize me.
Yeah, we did have a rowdy evening, so I'm not surprised that he remembers my face well.
You should exchange contact information with him. I mean, we don't really have a way to be actually, we don't have a way to be contacted. We're always on the move. Never mind.
Well,
you should have more adult friends, Anton, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Well, it depends.
Yes, like you said, never mind that.
How loyal is he to the Empire? And I'm just wondering, like, are you well known around these parts? If we go through the Reuven ward, are people going to recognize you?
Well, I assumed that everyone would realize that I was wanted, but I don't know. Possibly not. Like I said, we still have to be on our guard and assume that anytime I'm recognized, we might be in for a fight.
Well, let's just hope we don't
I think I consider that a lucky break.
Hopefully he likes you more than he does the Empire, if word gets out.
Hopefully he doesn't mention to anybody else. I might be stationed here. That
He's a good soldier. Yeah, he wouldn't compromise our undercover mission.
That's good. Maybe we should get you a costume once we leave this place.
Might be a good idea.
Disguise.
I've got some dark common clothes in my horse. If you need some peasant's rags to disguise yourself in.
Just put a mustache.
Well, I'm still
on.
wearing the noble leather robes, right? It's just I don't have anything covering my face.
Just curve your back a little
We
bit.
have those like
Right.
expensive, engraved, embossed leather robes.
Yep.
But yeah,
and
maybe
you
a
mixed with your
mustache.
really fancy armor as well.
Right. Well,
So
we'll
you're
talk
not
about
really wearing
how to
imperial
disguise my
clothing.
face.
Yeah.
We'll work on it if we need to. But that dude recognized you like right away. So we might want to do something after we get out of here.
Yeah.
I agree.
Jane's gonna spot you
Well-
across the ward.
All right.
Well-
Well, lucky break. Hey, maybe prayer works.
It does in this world. So
I was gonna say, don't do that. Don't do that.
So how do we, as you're all still making your way up, you can see that there's this winding staircase that is leading up to the top of this tower. Long, or a bit of a walk. As you're getting closer to the top, Savamil goes, so how do we want to approach this? You said Jimma and Willa, you two kind of take charge of here.
Yeah, I'd like to help Willow as much as I can, if possible.
Right.
Do
I'm
you
just
know what you
gonna tell
wanna
them
say?
I'm just gonna tell them the truth. So I hope, unless you guys have another plan.
What
Someone has a very squeaky chair.
what were you like what is the goal that we're trying to convince them to do? That they have to get out of the city? That they have to return it to the elves? Wardenthrart seems like he has some kind of high demands. So I don't know where the balance is between what will appease him and what they're willing to accept.
Right. I haven't thought about it too much, to be honest. I was just gonna tell him that Weird-Thaw is out there and he wants it to go back to normal, or back to what it was, and then see what they have to say about it. I don't know. I haven't given you guys. Think there's something else there? I'm not really great at this stuff.
You're following your heart, so I understand. I wouldn't tell them where he is. Just as a note, because if you tell them where he is, that might just send people to go kill him.
Right. Yeah, that's. Hopefully they can kind of talk and come to some resolution, but I don't know. I've never met these people before.
Guess we'll have to see.
Right.
Yeah, let's wing it.
Try the sandwich method. Positive news, we took care of those cursed dryads. Negative news, well, I guess we might need to compromise with somebody who's a teensy bit wants to destroy you. And then positive news on top of that.
How about
Whatever that is.
I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I feel like it should be, this guy is willing to stop the attacks. Otherwise, he's, if you guys can come to some sort of compromise with him. Otherwise, they're just going to continue on. I don't exactly remember everything that he wanted you to do, or at least convince the council of. That's partly Mike the player also, because that was a lot of stuff.
Same.
Well, he mentioned that he didn't want things to become they were basically out of whack with nature right now, right? And so we found out really how that's the case? Did they mention the river being polluted, or are there any details about the environment that
they took over the city? They imposing their imperial rule in this area, and he's not having any of that. That's the short version, right?
That's the short
Wes.
version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know how to otherwise convince. I mean, we can try how to convince them to come to a balance. Maybe there are people who are sympathetic to that, but like you said, Willa, we'll just have to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
At this point, you are seeing the doors, two double doors in front of you. You've reached the top of the tower, and there are these two very large wooden ornate doors, decorated with vines and all kinds of symbolism of nature. There's like woodland creatures, as well as you can see the sun and the moon, one on each side, that kind of their rays meet the center to where the handles are.
Kick it open.
We go in. Willa will knock.
I mean, this seems pretty naturey. Like, he's mad about this?
There's
Yes.
a knock, and make a perception check.
All of us?
Yeah.
That's a nat one. Get it out of the way. Let's go.
11.
2.
Okay. Anton, you swear that you heard what might have been distant sounds of voices just sort of cease at that knocking. And then finally there's a loud, "Oh, is it? Come in. Come in."
Oh, okay.
Should we knock again? Oh.
You're on mute, Justin.
Let's go in. I'm not familiar with the etiquette of the Great Hall, but they want us to go in. I can hear them.
Okay.
All right.
Ladies first.
One.
You could hear that? That's crazy.
No.
These large double doors open up, and stepping through them, you enter into a somewhat surprisingly small circular stone chamber with wide open views, however, that overlook the Magalore and Rosia forest in every direction. There are these pillars that rise around this circle, that around the chamber's edge, that hold aloft a domed ceiling that, when you look up, that contains images of the cosmos, constellations, and astral bodies that are visible in the night sky, sort of painted onto this dome. The center of the room is dominated by a raised, thin, reflective silver table in the shape of an incomplete circle, almost a full circle, but like an eclipsed moon, with 5 elves and a human sitting equidistant to one another around it, who look toward you with expressions of confusion and interest. There is a female counselor gestures towards the middle area of the ring, where you see a smaller blue circle emblazoned upon the stone in the center of in the center of this circle, like the pupil of an eye, and reminiscent of the moon Care, which is the blue moon. While many of the counselors appear baffled by this sudden incursion, the woman speaks aloud. "To the center. Who are you, and why are you here?"
Is the center like a raised table, or?
So it's like this. The silver circle is around this silver band that makes the table, but it's an incomplete circle to where it's like an eclipse moon, but there's that. It's incomplete to where you can walk into the center of it.
Gotcha.
And on the floor of that center is this blue spot, basically pointing for you to be there as the speaker around this circle of counselors.
I pull Willa's arm to like try to help her get up to front and center. I know you're probably not very uncomfortable doing this, but I'm like, we got to do this. I got you. We're good.
It's a really cool aesthetic.
As you step forward too, you're kind of looking around and you can see all the elves and the human, their eyes following you. And you look out and you can see just the gorgeous landscape that's just out of, just beyond this circle. Though most of the elven counselors appear to be young and human years, elves themselves would recognize the experience and wisdom that they hold. The woman who spoke, however, with a closer inspection, you can see that she has a hint of silver streaking through her dark brown hair that flows over each shoulder. The one human Dable stands out like a sore thumb. He's a plump, bearded fellow with a raised, suspicious eyebrow who wears the black eagle of the Empire stitched upon his velvet tunic. As you make your way to the center, is it just the two of you that are going to the center, or is everyone going to go into the center?
We do that thing where we walk and then everyone's behind us.
Yeah. Come on.
Anton's gonna hang back.
Do you want me and Anton on Psychic Link, you guys, or do you guys feel comfortable going in alone? Would you prefer not to have that?
Well, now you're in the open,
Yeah,
so
we
they
probably
can hear you talking.
Well, I don't remember who I can't remember who I'm connected to at this point. How long it's been.
I don't think you are connected to anyone now because it's been the morning and you didn't reconnect since last night.
Okay.
It'll be just a little series of long pauses as we converse.
We're like whispering.
Can we? Are they waiting for us to talk?
Yeah.
Okay.
She asked, "Who are you and what do you and why are you here?"
Do you want me to start? You go.
I'll start. I'll start.
Go
Okay.
okay.
Hello. Great Silver Circle.
Esteemed council. Yeah.
Esteemed council members. My name is Willa Kettlewistle, and these are my friends. I'll let them introduce themselves if they want to.
Raz'sik
And-
waves in the back.
This has gone great.
We're here.
He's not close to the days at all.
We're here with some interesting news for y'all, and I think it'll, it might affect the city, and we're hoping that maybe we can talk to you about this, and there's some kind of resolution that can happen, and and I love Hannah Nye, just so you know, she's amazing.
So subtle. Love it.
Sahanin.
Sahan? Is that how you say it?
Don't correct yourself.
I don't know.
You go. Just roll with it.
Just keep it. Okay. So lately, I'm sure that you all are aware that there's been some weird occurrences in the city, right? Some of them we've kind of encountered, like the strange river creatures. My party here, we've taken care of it. The what?
The balls of light, the wisps.
The wisps, the river wisps. We've taken care of those. They're gone now, and we've kind of followed the trail and figured out where that's coming from, and we think this might be a name that you know of. Werenthar. Apparently, he's behind some of this.
Talking to each other.
You're doing great, Willa.
Thanks, Trevor. And we've had a chance to talk with him, and he was very peaceful. First of all, after we did some fighting of other things, but that's neither here or there. He was very peaceful, and all he wants is to kind of, she looks around like the building, bring back this nature that y'all have back into this city. I think he just doesn't really know the best way to go about it, and he's kind of been raised in violence, so he's more of a violent man. But we've talked to him, and he wants to find a peaceful way to do that with y'all. So
You see kind of one elf kind of leaning in, almost a bit of a cockiness to him, and a bit of almost condescending. We're well aware of we aren't there. Are we forgetting that this man was a criminal? That we banished him for a reason? Now he wants to make demands. That's funny. You can see there's a woman on the other side of the circle who goes, well, perhaps we should hear him out. There's no reason that maybe he's changed his mind. And if these people here stopped these attacks, then perhaps he might have something beneficial to us. And there's other voices that sort of speak out, and they're talking amongst themselves. The original woman that welcomed you in goes, all right, well, what exactly is he asking for here? That he wants us to just go back the way things were? And you could see the human who's kind of leaning back, his foot almost up onto a stool, going, it can't be ridiculous. Come on. The Empire is here for good. We've made our intentions known, and we've made a deal on such a thing. The High Council has seen to that. What, so we're just going to let some druid come in and take that all away? No. They kind of look to you all to say anything.
This was their home, and you took it over. Is that what the Empire stands for?
There's a female that you hadn't seen before who kind of leans in, a little bit younger, seemingly, who goes, yes, the Empire did come in, and they've done a lot of good. Look at how we flourished, everyone. We have Domarian Knights on our side. We have our own Imperial Guard. We have trade amongst the river. It's only benefited Varndrel that the fact that the Empire has come here.
Well, what are the people that were here before? This was their home, and it's you that is flourishing, but what were they to do? What about the people homes that you destroyed, the people you drove out?
There's a male who hadn't spoken yet either that you've really seen, who goes, that's right. I've been waiting for these days myself. I long for the days before the Empire's arrival, where we had our elven roots. Perhaps this is what is best for Varndrel. Well, what do you suggest, says the human? We just let you take back your city, just let you have your city back? I don't think the Emperor would really approve of that. Perhaps we should put it to a vote.
Speak up, Willa. Do it. She nudges Willa. Say what you need to say. Now's the time.
Oh, well, a vote sounds great, but consider maybe some sort of compromise. I understand where you've gotten yourselves this far in the future, right? Going back all the way might not be the best, but maybe there's something in between that would work better for the environment, make better with nature, you know? You don't have to draw a straight line through everything. So consider that when you're voting.
So, let me get this straight, says the original woman, the older one. The terms of what he's proposing here are what? He wants us to go back to the way things were, or else what happens? What if we just keep things the way they are?
I fear if there's no compromise, then more people are going to suffer. and it'll continue on until one of you destroys one another.
And if we agree to his terms, then what?
I think that's kind of between you all, right? I think that's what, out of character, that's we at least wanted to get them in the room together to discuss.
Yeah, you kind of out of character. You kind of want him. Oh, he's wanting them to back away. Basically push the Empire back, fight back against the Empire.
Ooh, that's a tall order. Shit.
That's kind of what he's wanting, and they're like, well, why should we even change anything? So that's kind of what you need to convince them of right now.
Just for the better. What about you elves, though? What was it that drove you out in the first place to so willingly give up your home, this place, to lose that connection with nature in place with all of this commerce and flourishing with the Empire?
There are a few mixed reactions. You can see that this seems to be a fairly diverse of different opinions here, of this entire spectrum of beliefs. There's one who goes, well, it's only been beneficial for us. Sure, we lost some of the magic, but I mean, elves live longer. I always thought we might perhaps just outlive the Empire, which the human doesn't really like at that response. But because I think we've kind of proven ourselves a bit longer than us being short term. There's another who also goes, well, some of us think that we didn't really have a choice. You came in here and took over our city, and yes, there's been some benefits, but we have lost some of our own culture. The force receding from our homes.
Can't rely on just waiting them out either. You're just going to set a norm for the future, and then it'll be even harder to go back to the way things were. And you're going to try to wait out these humans. I mean, the emperor has been alive for what? 200 years? He's been ruling for 200 years. How much longer are you going to wait? And looking around the room, it doesn't seem like this is the first time it's come up, or that many of you have actually thought about this, or that you haven't thought about this before. Sorry.
The human leans in close. I don't know who you think you are, but I would watch your tongue when questioning the longevity of our great emperor. Who are these people anyway? Who are you? Why did you come with this task? Do you call yourselves anything? Are you just some random people off the street? I mean, come on.
We were accosted by the river wisps in your own city while we were passing through. We were just one of the many incidents that happened, or that has been happening for a couple weeks now. We just happened to find the source, or find a trail to the source, and understand what's going on both sides. Mm-hmm. Kind of nudge Willa for support.
Willa will she looks at Gemma, and then she looks to the 5 elves, and she is going to use her psionic mind to speak just to the elves. And she's going to say, I've seen the great magic that you all have in that hotel or whatever it is next to the river. We've been there, and you're going to let the Empire take that over? Why are you letting them get rid of your history? And will the new generations even remember any of it? There's something I can't say in front of this man, but I'm sure you must all be thinking it.
Roll persuasion
I'm also
with
talking.
advantage.
I'm kind of talking while she has that long pause of thinking because I pick up what she's doing.
Yeah, because the human's sort of like, what?
I was, sir, I wasn't questioning the longevity of our empire. I thought that was just a statement of fact that he's been
like drowns out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
16.
16. Some of them, there are two in particular. The one that seemed very condescending, the male, and the one female who seemed a big supporter of them being there, seem angry at what you said. But there seems to be 3 out of the 5 who seem to actually like what you said. I say we put it to a vote, they say out loud. Come on, we're just gonna let this magic slide. The human goes, "What's going on? What are you talking about?" And the one male kind of look, she's using magic to speak in our heads.
No, I'm not.
Not magic.
One of the females goes, "It's not magic. We have evidence of that. It's actually something completely different. Other than that, that's not why they're here. We must decide. Do we allow this empire to continue its grip on us? Or do we stand up?" And there seems to be a bit of an uproar at this, as there seems to be an inner conflict that is rising based on your interaction here, where you're starting to feel almost like it's getting beyond your power here, as there's this sort of more of a conflict. The human is starting to look at Raz'sik and Anton and Savamil off in the distance, sort of suspicious.
They're just like,
we're just hanging out.
Smoking cigarettes.
I feel like it's going well. Willa seems really confident.
She's doing great.
The one sort of
We see
female
them all turn towards us.
seems to be in charge. She kind of goes, well, this is only the best way that we can do this. We put it to a vote to see. Raise your hand if you agree we should put back the Empire, and we can discuss about the specifics later. But at least we'll stop the druid from attacking us. Or nay, we continue as things are and not fight back the dogmatic grasp that these humans have brought on us. And there's like more arguing, like, dare you call them that? It's getting heated.
Anton walks up closer, kind of stands next to Willa and Gemma. Says, "We won't be here forever to protect you from these attacks. We're going to move on. Just keep that in mind while you bicker amongst yourselves."
See, you all are busy, so we'll just leave you to your own.
They go, raise your hand, aye. The Empire, push back. Bring back our elven roots. There are...
Sorry.
There's 3 of the council members who raised their hands. All who say nay there are 3 as well, but one is the human. And they go, Lord Hymenstein, you know that your vote doesn't count in the Silver Circle. You just overlook us. It looks like it is in favor that we shall push back your grasp. And there's like more, there's 2 of the elves who disagreed with that, who look angry. And Lord Hymenstein stands up and goes, this is outrageous. The High Court shall hear of this. You will regret it. And starts storming out and kind of looks at each of you as he walks out and begins to storm out, as well as the 2 other elves who are in favor of the Empire, leaving just you all and 3 elves.
Good job, Wella. You did it.
You too.
You did great.
I guess so. Why do I feel kind of bad? I didn't think they were going to fight this much.
It wasn't going to be easy, Wella. But
This
you were brave.
is just the what is the human expression? The straw that breaks the camel's back.
That's pretty good. I don't know what a camel is, but yeah. That's good.
We've heard of it somewhere. Anyway, thank you for coming forward. My name is Safiel. This here is this is Omelia, and she seems to be the sort of neutral elf that you had persuaded. And then there's also here is Vestin, and you can see one of the male elves stayed behind. He goes, what you did here was very brave. We're not really sure still who you are
Not important.
or how you got involved with all of this, but this has been something brewing for a long time. I think this is sort of what brought things to a head. If I were you, I'd watch your backs.
I was going to say the same thing for you guys. Something tells me this isn't going to be easy, even though you decided this democratically. But something just tells me that the Empire isn't going to take this lightly.
They certainly won't. This might cause a split in the city. I think we're going to have to alert they look at each other, our loyalists. It's going to split the guard. We'll see what happens. It's not going to be pretty.
The dude Fulman downstairs is pretty solid. Make sure he's on your team.
Okay.
They're like, okay, who?
They're like, yeah, there's that.
Who?
Well, is there anything else you want to tell us?
What can? I was gonna say, what should we tell Werdenthar? That he can meet with you?
He can meet with us, though he might be satisfied with our answer. It seems he successfully perhaps started a civil war in our city.
Maybe he can give you the support you need.
Yes, we're going to fight. We've been wanting this. Some of us have been wanting this for a long time. So thank you for bringing that to us. You sure we can't get more information on you? We'd like to honor you in some way. Do you have a name for yourselves? Or are you just lonely, eclectic travelers?
Team Huddle. I don't know if we should tell them who we are. It's pretty big.
I think naming ourselves is kind of counterintuitive to what we're trying to do, which is not get caught and not build up a reputation.
I agree. For once, I agree with you.
How about a fake name?
Otherwise, Raz'sik's Angels.
Oh,
No,
no.
Didn't somebody say
no.
Soul Survivors before?
No, don't tell them. No,
Survivors.
that's a really cool
This-
one. We should save that for later. But tell them something
This
like
could be the
Sea Dogs.
time that we debut the name, you know? No one's heard it before.
Wildcats?
Oh, no.
That's a throwaway.
No town.
No,
Call
no,
it,
not
how
that one.
about to be determined?
TBD.
TBD. That's good.
I mean, we're about to
We're
leave town,
TBD.
so if we
Yeah,
let
what's
them know.
seed? Yeah, well, okay. Yeah.
we should just are we doing it?
You can, I guess you could call us the Soul Survivors. That's SOUL survivors, not SOL, because we're obviously that's what we're five, but it's
been sad. It's been sad. It's finally canon.
Wes is like, thank God. Jesus.
Thank God. Go Soul Survivors.
We can finally
That's-
start printing the hats.
That's a good idea. Start with a merch. Just having this side conversation.
I love
while
the
they're
idea
trying
of
to,
Wes
like-
just having like a big crate of like stuff without a name on it yet, and he's really sad about it.
And now I pull out a T-shirt. It's got
Yeah,
the Soul Survivors.
fantastic.
Our
yeah.
merch.
No, that's understood. That's your adventuring party group. We'll keep that in mind. You'll be considered heroes amongst those loyal to us. But please, if there's anything else you hear about, come find us. My name is I've introduced ourselves already, but I'm Veston. If you can't find me for some reason here, my husband, Zelfar, he owns Feyfire Blades. You'll be able to find him if you ever need to. If you ever need to get in contact with us, that'd probably be the best place to go.
What about for a discount? I don't really say that. I don't really say fire.
We can probably give you a discount too.
Fantastic. Okay. I nudge Anton, and then I also nudge Raz'sik, who uses psychic blades anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Before we leave, I just wanted to draw attention to the fact that Willa here was very instrumental in talking Weird down. He was ready to kill everyone in this city, and she convinced him. She really reached in and convinced him to back down and at least let us talk to you.
Oh, thanks, Gemma.
No, it's true. It's true. She deserves a lot of the credit, though, and it sounds like this is going to be a huge thing for you guys, and I just wanted you to recognize that.
Willa, you'll be remembered. And so will... What's your name? Looking at you, Gemma.
My name is Gemma. You can just call me Gemma.
And your friends over here, they part of the Soul Survivors as well? I'm Savimil.
Raz, throw up the peace sign.
Are you going to tell everyone our names?
That won't be necessary.
Yeah, if you
But-
lose, don't tell anyone.
I don't really want to be known for starting a civil war.
Right, yeah.
It's not the most positive thing for me to be associated with, but
Of course, but you're standing up for what's right
yeah.
against the Empire, right? Or we thought you were against the Empire, no?
I think so. At least
It's complicated.
slowly getting there.
Okay. Well, if you don't want to be too involved, we understand as well. You did enough just bringing us the information. Well, as we said, be careful out there and watch your backs.
Before we go, can I interject myself and just ask, can you tell me who was that really confident, cocky human?
Lord Hymenstein.
Lord Heidenstein?
Lord
Hymenstein?
Hymenstein. That's actually Lord Rupert Hymenstein III.
Oh, there's three of them. Great.
It seems humans like to name themselves after each other. He is or was the appointed Baron to Varanjo by the Imperial Court. Though he sort of was the middleman between us and the Empire, he did stick to his role, and didn't really make too many decisions, but he did like to overstep his bounds.
Sounds like a watchdog.
Very much so, yes.
And the other two elves?
The 2 elves. The very condescending one, that's Castian. Castian Alaro.
Oh, that's a name I'm hoping to hear.
The woman, she's a very big supporter of the Domarian Empire's occupation of Varanjo. She really likes the military aspect. That's Elenil Rolamus.
Is Alaro the one that has the Ebon Jewel out of character?
You got a different name, but same last name.
Gotcha. Alanel? Valamos?
Elenil.
Valamos?
Here, I can post
Be
it.
like Katie or
Stam elves, right?
Mary, Sue.
Do you have any other
Cassian was the really
questions?
cocky one, right?
Castian was the cocky one.
Okay, and he's also the son of Alora, Nestorin.
Estrin is his son.
Okay, reverse that.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be really happy that you're going to be sneaking around in his house later.
Well, now we can frame it as being for the cause. Now that we've kicked the hornet's nest a little bit, I think we have some reasonable room for deflection.
Does anyone have anything else? We should probably get out of here.
Yeah, are people still
I agree.
arguing? Or is there
No,
still
the-
rabble? Or did people just kind of break up?
I thought they
Well, the
stormed
ones who disagreed stormed out.
I don't suppose you guys have like spare tickets or season passes to the theater play or the theater. I know that's a kind of a big ask. I don't really like to ask for things like that.
Oh, you're serious? I thought you were kidding.
I can
think,
be kidding.
we could
Just
probably get
really
you into
expensive.
a show.
Really awesome.
Yeah.
Gemma's eyes light up.
Yeah.
That's funny that you say that. You could see Safiel kind of writes down like a letter onto a piece of parchment. Writes it in Elvish, signs it, goes, just give them this. They'll know I'm a counselor. On me.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Like,
Yeah. Enjoy the show, perhaps before it's shut down. Who knows what's going to happen now?
Yes.
Right.
Sure.
Oh, quick question, since we're asking for favors. Is there any way you guys could give us safe passage over the mountains to the west?
Oh, well, great idea, man.
That's really that's ruled by Imperial forces, and for going against them, probably not. But if you're heading that way,
They don't know that
we can
now,
give you
right?
we can give you passage on one of my ships through the river.
I turned to the group. What did I say? We could have taken the river the whole time. We didn't even have to come here.
That'd be amazing. We'd really appreciate that.
Well, for that you'll have to find me when you're ready to leave. And
Okay.
this is Safiel still. Safiel. Safiel Iensalor is her name. She's the one who gave you the tickets. The one who
Yeah,
seems
okay.
to be sort of in charge of this little group here.
You're gonna have to copy paste that in.
I
You
did.
did. Oh, you did. Okay. Let's see the other ones. Miss Ian Salor, thank you so much.
Right. How would we be able to find you? Maybe in a couple days' time.
Big giant ear. I mean, well, not that.
That's a good question. You might just have to come back here, or kind of looks at the others. Go to where Veston said, at Feyfire Blades. Not to say I don't trust you necessarily, but we did just meet. But if you get contact through Veston's husband at Feyfire Blades, it'll make its way to me. I'll find you.
Good idea, Willa. Good idea.
Thumbs up.
Well, anything else?
I think we've done a lot today.
I think you've chosen wisely.
Just causing trouble. Good luck with that.
Thanks, and
Well, have fun with your Civil War. Bye, guys.
I feel like the CIA coming in, starting.
yeah.
I think Raz'sik is definitely having a
Overthrew the
moment where
stable
he's
government.
like, am I supposed to be doing this? Was this like one of my things that I was pre-programmed to do? I'm definitely having some like quandaries.
We do wish you luck, and thank you for the tickets and the passage. We will be getting in contact with you soon.
All right, be safe, as we said. And begin making your way out of the Silver Circle Council room and back downstairs into the Hall of Illumination. And we'll go ahead and take our second break here. Pick back up. So see you in a few. Stick around.
I think that went well,
More
guys.
to come. Hi, everyone. We're back. Oh, we were just laughing about how I might have to do a one-man show for the theater, so we'll see how that goes.
So stoned.
We spoke to the council. I had no idea how this was going to go. People, by the way,
Here.
but it went in a direction where you most likely started a civil conflict in the city.
We're just gonna peace
It
out, too.
seems, yeah, the Silver Circle democratically voted to push back the Empire's grip, which Lord Hymenstein, the appointed Baron of the city from the Imperial Council, not too happy about that, and probably, or he said he's going to report it to the Empire, as well as 2 Imperial loyalists storming out, leaving you with 3 elves who thanked you by request, gave you tickets to the Shadow Song Theater show, as well as a possible route or passage out of the city on a ship on the river to get to the mountains, which is could be very beneficial. So now you've made your way back to the main hall of the Hall of Illumination, and it's up to you where you'd like to go and what you'd like to do at this point.
Man, I feel like that probably would have gotten a lot easier if we just killed Weirdthar, but here we are.
I mean, when you think about it, this is kind of like we're fighting the Empire. We're doing it. We're sowing seeds of rebellion.
I'm very proud of us for doing something like that, at least sticking it back to them. After everything we've seen, I think they deserve it.
It'll
Use it
be
for
worth
some
it in the
lunch.
end.
It will.
Yeah.
I think it's better for them too.
Sorry, I think my seat is going to go because if you see camera, I just keep on like shrinking like a foot. Sorry about that. Bit of visual humor.
Are any of you familiar? Well, I know Savamel is, but are any of you familiar with boat travel? This will probably be one of my first times just on an extended boat trip.
I am not a seaman.
No.
Yeah, me either.
Oh, this is gonna be great.
Just shore fishing.
Yeah.
They never station you on a boat, Anton?
No, that was the Navy. I was infantry.
Fair enough. Sometimes you have to infiltrate the seas.
Oh, I'm looking forward to being on water again. Although it's not the same as the saltwater sea. It's freshwater, but it'd be nice change of pace.
It's almost like gross.
Yeah, no tuna.
So
Yeah.
my question to you, Willa, is what do you want to do with Weird and Thar? Do you want to go back and tell him? This isn't
yeah.
quite, it didn't quite meet his demands, but some of them are trying.
I
don't
think
know.
this
It's
is
a lot of responsibility in your hands. I feel like you could very easily tell him, support one side over the other.
Don't do that, Raz'sik. Just, I mean,
No, I'm not doing anything. I'm giving this to Willa.
this wasn't going to be an overnight thing. I think that you're on the right path, Willa. It all starts with talking about it.
Yeah, I don't think this was going to happen. I didn't even think we would get this far, to be honest. So I would hope that Werenthar is excited with the news that we have for him, and maybe he'll come down here and join them.
If he was a reasonable person, he couldn't have expected them to just drop everything. There was going to be some dissent, but at least he'll know he has some porters towards what his cause is and his goals.
Yeah.
I know that Dark Druids sometimes deal in absolutes.
Well, maybe he's only dark because he was forced. He was forced to do it. Like he's defending his home.
He might get angry when we tell him, so maybe we should be ready to be on the defense a bit.
Angry with
Who
what?
knows? Well, like Raz'sik said, it didn't happen as quickly as he wanted it to. So if he doesn't like it for whatever reason, which I'm not sure that'll happen, but we should be ready just in case. So we have 3 days, though, isn't that right?
Yeah.
He said 3 days to tell him, so we can go and do other things, and then maybe tell him on our way out.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm a big fan of that.
He'd have to know that he'll
Write a
have
letter.
supporters. I think that's reasonable enough. Unless he wants to fight the Empire himself, but clearly there are people that are on his side and want the same things. I don't know. I don't know him. You probably know him more than any of us do, but only a little bit.
Yeah, that's something I've been thinking about as well. There's probably some questions I have for him next time we do meet him. Still strange what he said, but we'll talk about it once we get there, I think.
Yeah. I think he'll owe you some answers at the very least.
Yeah, we've done so much for him. I think that I deserve that. So.
Anyone up for lunch? Sandwich? Do they have sandwiches?
Could go for a sandwich. Some ribs.
Some ribs. Yeah.
Some ribs.
Savamel, you are going to fucking love this.
Oh yeah, ribs. That sounds gruesome. It's just.
It is.
It is.
You're just gonna be like, oh,
It's
no,
wonderfully
licking your fingers.
Pull up the Gazetteer, and see which place you'd like to go to.
we're gonna do some stuff, and then we're gonna come back here tonight, right, to the church. We hear like screaming in the distance towards the church. Some dude just going wild right now.
In the temple.
In the temple, it's like, oh, he's still there. We got time. We got time.
Thank you for that. I was having the hardest time
Yeah, me too.
finding that.
I did reorganize some stuff, but it should be hopefully easier to find things. Just maybe click around in there to see if, to get a sense of it. But under handouts, documents is the handout there.
How do you guys feel about delectable indulgences?
Where do you see that?
Starfall Lounge.
I was gonna say, against my better judgment, we should probably go there.
I think the lady should decide since this is their victory.
That's true.
Willa, what are you hungry for?
I could do delectable indulgences. Is that what you wanted? Yeah. Yeah, we should treat ourselves after that victory, right?
We're a group of refined tastes.
Do we, the party, know that the Starfall Lounge is where Raz'sik's contact is? And did he share that with us? Did you share that with us?
Share that with
I don't
you
think I
yet.
specifically said that, but I'll let you all know. It's like I think that he'll kill two birds with one stone, because I have it on good word from a disembodied voice that I think it's the bartender there. Yeah, the shop. No.
Yes, the bartender at the Starfall Lounge.
Yes, he might be on the up and up.
Up and up, as in he's your Pangean contact.
Well, he's
Or
going to
on
have
that
the
contact.
Yes.
He's
Well,
the
I think-
gnome's contact to get
The
more
gnome's
information about the job.
Yes, he's
Right, the
Matt
guy in
Moff?
the bazaars, the drop-off guy, right?
It's Maltaf, I think, right? Maltaf Dracul.
Yes, that is correct.
And so that makes sense if he is working for the dude that, and that was also the Mysterian is the son of the cocky guy that we met earlier.
Who
Is that what you're saying?
owns Starfall Lounge? Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they don't recognize us, or they'll be around, or word hasn't gotten around yet. So maybe this is the best time to visit that place.
True.
Right.
In any case, our coin will be good though.
You're pretty intent on finding this artifact, then, right? This is something that you need to get for your people.
I think so. There's something inside of me that's it's almost like a compulsion.
Isn't it your mission?
I think so. I know so.
There you go. Just wanted that confidence, Raz'sik.
We wouldn't want you to break off from us. You're a valuable member of the party here. Great fighter.
Oh, thank you, man. And you're doing great at learning new words every day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a
I'll
new word
take
for
that.
you, Anton. It's condescending.
Condescending.
Yeah, let's go to the Starfall Lounge.
Okay. You make your
Oh,
way
no,
to across the bridge to the other half of the city you have not even been to yet, the west side of the river. Making your way towards the Tanithil ward. You eventually get to the Starfall Lounge, which rests along the riverbank. A very expensive-looking restaurant and lounge tavern that seems to be a very popular stop for the city's wealthy and influential citizens.
West End girls.
You approach and you can see it's filled with almost completely of all elves. That nobles and higher end types too. And though it is sort of during the day, you could tell this seems more of a place for nighttime visitors. So it's not packed by any means, but there is a few people there for lunch. You can see that some of them look you up and down almost with a judgment in their eyes. You remember from your days here, Anton, you seem to recall, yes, Starfell Lounge. They really just like elves here. It's the higher end nobles who are a little judgmental towards those who are of other races.
We just saved your culture.
Don't mind the side eye we're getting in here. They'll serve us. We might get a little spit in our food, but no one ever died from spit.
I don't want spit in my food. Why would they spit in our food?
Probably not any more than usual for me.
They look down on non-elves.
You're instantly sat at a table with a nice view of the river. You can see the distant ships moving along the water, the sails flapping in the wind, and just getting a good overview of the city while you've been here so far.
They gave us the nice table. Sweet.
Yeah, it's really a beautiful establishment. There's even though it's daytime, it has a bit of a lower lighting with some of the curtains and stuff for some parts of it, giving that sort of aesthetic of sort of the richness of higher end places. There's also some soft, delicate music being played by a small band of musicians off in the corner, playing on the harp and some stringed instruments, and just adding a nice ambiance as you step through. There is a female elf who approaches, goes, "My name is Malin. I'll be your server. First time here at Starfall Lounge?"
I push Savamil forward.
No. We've been here before.
We're with him.
Okay.
We're at the table. We're at the table. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot we're at the table.
She hands out menus for all of you. He goes, "You can get the full course for 8 silver. Our drinks usually run about 3 silver. I'll give you a few moments to look it over, and you can decide what you'd like." Going to post the menu and roll 20.
We'll have the ribs. We don't need to see the menu.
We don't have ribs here.
We don't have
Like I
ribs
said,
here,
we'll have
actually.
the ribs.
Oh my god. Sorry, Savi. Jeez. Trying to
you
take
can-
to a good place.
Looking over at the menu,
Oysters, huh?
you can see the appetizers. There's oysters on the half shell. There's foie gras, which is sort of like typically a French dish of like pig liver or duck. You're honest, duck.
It's like duck.
My apologies.
Yeah.
It
In
is
like
totally
the worst
duck.
way, but it's so
Yeah.
good.
I've never had it.
Oh,
And it comes with river prawns. There's also the main courses: wild salmon, it's marinated in rare spices, moonlit veal medallions with freshwater trout. And for dessert, there's Starlight Symphony, which is a assorted gourmet desserts with river cherries. And for drinks, they have Silver Moon champagne and Alara's elixirs.
Is Alara's elixirs like a collection of drinks, or is it?
It is, and you've seen it around. They actually have their own establishment on the other side of the river.
It's a big plastic mug with umbrellas and shit.
It's a distillery of like liqueurs, and Alara's Elixirs sells their drinks through many of the establishments in the city.
Well, Savi, this looks like your type of food. Do you have any suggestions?
This is a lot of there's a lot of seafood here in this city, huh? I guess we are right on the river. It makes sense. I'm not used to freshwater, but oysters, you can't go wrong. I've never had duck liver before, so maybe I'll try that. Salmon, I hear, is a pretty good fish. Other than that, I don't really have a lot of opinion. This is some new stuff for me too.
Great. I know what I want.
He comes back.
Mike knows what he wants.
I'm sorry. This is just so
Sorry.
ridiculous.
Maybe we don't have to do this every time.
This
I was
whole
really-
scenario.
I was asking for like a sandwich to get foie gras.
No, these are established menus. Okay, these are established menus.
Sandwich and end up with boggle.
We're just gonna like get a fish and chips cart outside of the library. We're all just kind of like eating while we're.
I mean,
talking
you
about
went
what's happening.
to the fucking rich place. What do you
Yeah, we
expect?
did. No, that's true.
Oh.
You chose to go to the rich place.
Excuse me. Do you have any bacon?
We don't have any bacon here.
God,
Sorry.
what kind of a place is this?
Oh man.
Savama goes, if you wanted just like some sandwich, we could have just gone to the bar. But we
Oh
had
no,
to go
this is
here
great.
to
No, we were
the
celebrating.
delicacy
I was just-
place.
We're celebrating. I was just being.
Okay. You can see Malin goes, what can I get everyone?
I'll have the salmon, since the only non-tortured main dish on the menu besides the oysters. And then I will have the Starlight Symphony, and I'll have
It's got a
the
conscious
unknown
now.
champagne.
Anton leans over to. Go ahead.
No, go. You go.
Anton leans over to Sufamil, or to Raz. What's champagne?
It's champagne. No, it's
That
it's
was-
like really fancy wine that has like a bubbly taste.
Bubbles like ale?
Not quite. We're like fizzy. You ever had a fizzy drink?
Get
No.
an elixir, Anton. I was gonna get a round of champagne for everyone, just as a sort of a celebration, anyways.
Okay.
Or do you have ale here, Miss?
We don't typically serve it, but if that's what you'd like, we can have that arranged.
Can you get two? Can you get him 2 ales? That's what you want, right? Two ales.
You know what, Gemma? I
his
think I'd like
favorite
to try
Lara's
something new.
elixirs are really actually pretty good, and they're a lot stronger.
I'm feeling like trying something new today. I'll have one. Well, I'll have 2 elixirs.
Yeah, that's the
You
spirit.
could always do a gnomish infernal engine bomb or whatever.
I don't
It's
think
like
they
you
have
drop
those
a-
there. Yeah.
You drop a shot into a beer.
Well, we have 2 flavors of Alara's elixirs today. We have wild cherry and blackberry.
One of each, please.
All right. 3 silver per drink. Just make sure everyone is calculating all that. And 8 silver for meals. Did you say what you wanted, Gemma? Willa? Gemma.
Oh, I was gonna have actually the same thing as Raz'sik for the exact same reasons. Because
Okay.
unless, I mean, do you torture the salmon before you cook it, or you?
We specifically
I
make
was
sure
gonna
that
ask
we
that, but I didn't
torture.
want to be shitty.
Oh,
We-
everything's
So I also had
tortured.
that question.
Everything's tortured on the menu. It
Manage
enhances
that
the
with
flavor.
oysters.
I'll just have some water. You torture the
Water
cherry.
really
You
gross?
torture the river cherries too.
Yes, even the river cherries.
Great. This place is great. Oh, the salmon. Damn it. The
Okay.
salmon, the dessert, the Starlight Symphony, and I'll actually pay for a round of the champagne for everyone. We're kind of celebrating this afternoon.
Great. And for you, and looks over at Willa.
I'll do the same here as my friends: the oysters, salmon, Starlight Symphony, and berry elixir, please.
Savamo goes, I have the exact same thing as that. She goes, okay, great. And she goes back to grab drinks. Soon after, comes back, hands out the elixirs and champagne to each of you. And also brings out some of the appetizers. Savamo goes, thanks for the champagne.
Oh, everyone. Hey, good job, guys. And
Cheers.
Bravo.
Cheers
like,
to the soul survivors.
yeah,
To the soul survivors.
Anton, put your pinky up. Into this.
Like this. Okay. Well, what do you think? Oh, so right. We're here for a reason, aren't we? Other than lunch. Raz'sik, you had to do something.
Can we see the bar from over here?
You can.
What do we see?
You see just a couple of customers sitting around this really nice, elegant bar. Behind the bar is can't miss it. You see a very prominent looking gold dragonborn, a male standing behind the bar, cleaning glasses. He's got these long sort of draconic looking horns that go back in these spikes, metallic golden scales that reflect sort of the surrounding light, and this very sort of nice almost silk and cloth robe of white that he sort of is wearing over himself, and just sort of collecting drinks, making drinks, and just moving very efficiently and confidently. And you can see a lot of the elves just seem to be staring at him like, wow, just sort of, that is a rare sight.
What are going on?
We have a gem dragon.
I look to
Well,
Willa.
Will is definitely
I'm
getting
seeing-
looks too.
Okay, great.
Well, I will wait till dinner is over. And then if we want to approach him, do you want me to just go by myself?
I think, yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Well, if we just want to flash through dinner. Yeah, I'll slide over to the or lunch, I guess. Late lunch.
Lunch, yeah,
Yeah, late lunch, early lunch, regular lunch.
regular lunch.
So after our regular lunch, I go up to who I suspect to be his name Matloff, Maltaff Dracul.
Maltaff, yes, Maltaff.
And
Dracul.
I wait till he's not with any other patrons, and I say, barkeep.
Yes.
You know, my favorite drink is I love the Imperial Gin that they tend to put out. My favorite part of it is the heavy taste of juniper. And I give him a meaningful look.
Are you hitting on me?
He kind of gives you a look. He goes,
Oh wait, this is for the other guy. Never mind. Wait, you're Matloff, right? Sorry, I got you confused with this other guy from this other bazaar. But this is
Uh,
starting off all wrong. Let me start over.
Geez, you need this. And he slides over a shot of
Thank
gin
God.
towards you.
Sorry,
Malta.
it's been a rough day.
Call me
Sir-
Mal.
Thank you, Mal. Well, cheers to you. Drink it back. Put it on a table. Mal, Harlan sent me, and I get really close to him. So I'm here to help you with your employer's let's just say his excess inventory.
Looks back and forth. Give me a charisma check.
Charisma. Point my little finger guns at him. Yeah, 13.
Because he doesn't seem fully like in it yet, but he does kind of do some things around the bar. He's still working. And who's your guy? What's the contact?
It's
There's
Harlan.
no one else around. Harlan?
Harlan.
Okay.
He
All
sent
right.
me. He said that you kind of knew what the deal was, and I think I need to ask you about where he keeps. Do you know about the?
Yeah, don't say anything more. Meet me out back. I need a break anyway. We'll talk there.
Okay. Is it okay if my?
Just
Do you
you.
want to go right now?
Just you.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go right now. And he motions for you to go around the back, and he kind of like takes off the towel from his shoulder and takes it and folds it and kind of checks on the customers, and then you see him kind of go out a different back door that's only for employees, and out of sight. Basically telling you to go meet him around back.
Okay, I do so in the most stealthy way I can.
All
He
right.
does that roll. He like rolls in plain sight around the bar.
It's the
Like, you
scene
don't
with
have to do
Fran
that.
Fran
Just go.
You come around the back area where you can see, clearly not for customers, but you make your way around. No one's really looking. It's the middle of the day. You see him leaning up against the wall, and he's lighting this like sort of long pipe, like from Lord of the Rings Hobbit style, just like this long pipe that he's lighting with this match, and takes a big drag out of it, starts blowing smoke, waves at you as to come over.
I do so.
He goes, "So you're with Marlon, yeah?"
Yeah. He sent me to the Black Gem, let's call it.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
See, Marlon
Alright,
told me
mate.
he'd be on the up and up. He's right.
Well, I got invited to Nestorin's home once, so I have a little detail that I've told him myself. Well, I'm glad he sent you to me because, this thing shouldn't belong in his place or with anyone of prominence such as him. But the Ebon Jewel, it's contained in Nestorin's private chamber. However, you're going to need a key to enter the room where it's contained. I believe it's hidden somewhere in the nearby library.
Like the door can't be like pocketed. The door can't be lockpicked.
I can't say. Perhaps, but you might want to look for the key because I think it's all trapped past that point. I got invited to Nesterin's house. He sort of showed me around, you know, sort of like a prized possession, like I'm some fucking prize working for him, you know, being a gold dragonborn or whatever.
I mean, you do look really cool, to your credit.
Thanks. Thank you. But, yeah, no. You know how these rich guys are. They like to show me off. Anyway, yeah, well, the mansion, it's guarded by by independent hired sellswords. They roam the grounds. I think they rotate shifts every 2 hours. And there are 3 entrances I'm aware of, aside from the windows. You know, there's the front door, there's the back door, and there's a basement. But I've heard rumors there's also there could be a 4th. There's a sewer tunnel that runs from the mansion to the Magalore River. You might be able to enter through that way as well. Let's see what else.
Tunnel.
There's also the mansion's 3 stories, including the basement. Servants and hired hands, they come and go all the time through the property. Yeah, the private chamber I mentioned, it's top floor. And the Ebon Jewel is it's behind a glass case. Oh, and I believe there's alarms throughout the house that can be triggered to alert the guards. So you might want to really watch your step.
Wow, thank you. You have such amazing, specific, incredibly useful information, Matloff.
Yeah, well, I've been waiting to give this information, especially to someone like Harlan. Because Nesterin's a rich asshole. He's racist against non-elves, so fuck that guy.
It'd be wrong not to steal from him. Am I right? High five?
Yeah.
Pound it.
Anyway, that's all I got. Good
Well,
luck,
thank you, bro.
and remember, you didn't hear anything from me.
No, of course not. And on a completely unrelated note, here is a 5 gold tip.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. You too.
And
Goes back to-
my party member, her name is Willa. Just letting you know.
Oh, the is that the Dragonborn you're with?
Yeah, just saying. You guys look good together. Just saying. All right, peace.
Another rich asshole as you walk away. And you go back to your friends at the table.
Guys, that conversation was surprisingly and shockingly fruitful for me, as opposed to most of the conversations that I have. I know exactly where the thing is, and I think I know exactly how to get in. Pending that we're not afraid to go in a little sewer system.
But other guards?
Yes. Well, there are magical implements to trap and fortify the place. So I imagine that the whole place is probably heavily secured. If not by actual personnel, then by magical means.
Let's hope it's not an enchanted sewer. That sounds like our best bet. Anyway, this will be for another time, right?
Maybe even hypothetically. No, I'm just kidding. I guess we're gonna do it, right?
I feel like I would be saying no to Destiny if I didn't take up this case. And also, if the Ebon Gem is as powerful as Maltap seems to think it is, then it wouldn't be right to leave it in this racist's hands.
That's a good point. Are we doing the? Are we gonna do this tonight then, or are we still doing the priest tonight, and then we're gonna do this the other night, and then we got a full schedule now?
Yeah, that priest looked pretty bad. Yeah, last night.
I think we should do priest first. We should save if we need to skedaddle out of town. I think we should save everything like of that nature towards the end of our stay here, just in case we need to.
Agree.
All
Yeah,
right.
agree. Well, is it dark yet?
It's still afternoon.
2:30.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like
it's a
just
long
after
lunch.
lunchtime.
You just
I was
had
just-
two.
you just had,
like,
you
two
had
of the, like,
two really
elixirs,
bready
yeah.
beers. Like, of course, you're gonna feel that way.
Tell me you need a nap, Anton. Come on.
Champagne's getting to my head.
Yeah.
I'm not used to it.
Brunch nap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess maybe we can tour the city a little bit more before night falls, and we'll see what we can do with that guy. So like a scream in the distance, a scream of pain and terror in the background.
He's still there.
He's still there.
Yeah.
Still there. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
He's
You still
great.
see like the quest marker, like
Yeah.
floating. Here it is.
Yeah. I don't know. Something tells me he's gonna be there until we get there. You know, so he'll wait for us.
Hey, not necessarily. Not
Maybe.
necessarily.
We'll see.
All right. And well, actually, look at the time. We're actually out of time, so that's a perfect stopping point. We will wrap it up there. That just flew by, didn't it? Okay. So yeah, Tales of Terramir will be back in 2 weeks on Wednesday, October 4th with episode 33. Thanks everyone for sticking around and watching through this episode for our affiliate anniversary. Really appreciate it. You can look for this episode on YouTube and podcast platforms within the next few days. We'll have a rerun on Twitch next week on September 27th. And join us right now on our Discord for our after show discussion. The link is on our Twitch page and our website, so check it out there. And thanks for watching again and listening, everyone. Good night.
See ya.
Hi.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, friend.